journey's been long and hard, and there have been plenty of rocks thrown, but none of them have done me any fatal damage anyway. In the early days when people wanted to throw rocks, they were, if you like, listening without looking, and now, because the change in attitude, people are actually looking and listening, and finding the question more difficult because they have to actually look at what they've seen, digest it, and then come up with a constructive question. That's the difference, and it's really good to see. When my work was first published in the UK, someone wrote in accusing me of being a woman. The implication was that I must be a feminist writing under a male pseudonym, clearly indicating that he thought only a woman would be stupid enough to suggest such an idea. This idea that women are musical equals of men is really very important.
I think that we're confident enough in the traditions that we've got in this institution to be very open-minded about the main question. If you look back at the 19th century, what went on in this place was absolutely essential for establishing Bach as the figure that he became that perhaps is now being chipped away at.
The 19th century was about building heroes, and a lot of that had an effect in the 20th century, creating unrealistic ideas and ideals.
I'm quite prepared to believe that there have been misattributions down the years. There are some other pieces by Bach whose attributions have been questioned very seriously. The greatness of the music doesn't diminish if the attribution changes one jot.
Johann Sebastian had gone down to Carlsbad with the Prince in the May of that year, 1720. He'd taken with him 5 musicians, and I'm pretty sure that Anna Magdalena was one of those musicians. I think it's true to say that there is a bit of a mystery surrounding her death. The possibility that he was playing up was a strong one, and that she was just driven to suicide by the not being able to cope with him sleeping with somebody else. But if she killed herself and everyone knew he was having a bit of a fling with Anna Magdalena, then I think we've got something society would want to criticise. He was directed, the word is directed, to get married in his own home. So what was the reason? Was it because there was some sort of social stigma associated with his relationship with Anna? She died as a mendicant woman, dependent on the council for financial support.
We are in a world where we have emerging technology, we have changing beliefs, we have critical thinking in ways that, you know, we've not seen before.
I think you've got a picture of Anna Magdalena's portrait, her love letters, his love letters, etc., being thrown on a bonfire by Caterina Dorothea and Friedemann, the eldest boy. They wanted to expunge Anna Magdalena from the history books. It's as if somebody quite deliberately wanted to destroy any family detail, any history that, and in my view, pointed to Anna Magdalena.
The ethos is to get to the core of what you're looking at from an evidence-based perspective.
I was fascinated by all the work that he'd done on the forensics of Bach documents.
Cellists tell me that they never thought that the music was written by Bach, but were too scared to tell anybody. And I think that's terribly damning, that people were so frightened of ridicule.
The example of evidence that is there, and the scope of the examples of evidence that are there in such wonderful clarity is great.
It's very difficult to contradict what you see with your own eyes.
I hope that those who are here will take away Professor Jarvis's ideas and think about them when they're developing their own interpretations of Bach's music. Or perhaps not Bach's music. Anna Magdalena's.